Let me check the router real quick. I guess we just wait for the.
Well, it says we're live. What are you showing?
Okay, it says the restream got. Okay, there we go. We are live now. Good Friday, everybody. This is you're watching Dr. Politics and the Political Architect Show. We are joined today by Dr. Liliana, student at the great University of Maryland, home of the mighty
Go
Terps.
Terps, yes.
Welcome back, and back from vacation, and road warrior, Dr. Thornton. Welcome. I am in the great state of Florida, the home of Governor Ron DeSantis and Marco Rubio, and home to President Donald J. Trump. Welcome, everyone. How is everyone? How's your first week at school, Liliana?
I have very much enjoyed it. I'm
Are
looking
you able to
forward
hear
to
me?
the semester. Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
I can hear y'all hear well. Yes. But yes,
So have you gone to a Terps game? Have you gone to
I haven't
have you
done
gone to a Terps
yet.
game yet?
Nope, that's tomorrow.
Mhm.
So I'm looking forward to a
Okay,
good win.
great. Who are they playing?
Yes. The Bills. The Bulls.
Yeah.
Buffalo.
Who are they playing?
Yes. Buffalo.
Is it some no-name school? Buffalo.
I
I mean,
don't know.
wow.
I'm going
Okay.
for a good time.
Sounds like a no-name school. Yeah. They should be able to win.
Hopefully.
And Jim, repeat.
Yes, thank you.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
Yes.
you.
There
think you
seems
may
to be
have-
some sort of a weird delay.
Yeah.
Okay. Hear me?
Mhm.
Okay. Anyways, this week, let's just start with the most recent stuff. Joe Biden, as in typical junta fashion, had his little address to the nation yesterday, which was not carried by any of the major networks. It was carried on cable by, MSNBC and CNN. I don't think Fox covered it, but I could be wrong. I was not watching television last night. So we've got, so what did you think of his speech? I mean, all of us on this stream and many of our viewers are branded as a bunch of, fascists, as he put it, the MAGA Republicans, and I mean, it's unprecedented, frankly. It's not like something we've ever seen before. So Lily, thoughts?
Yes, I think for him to give the speech that he gave yesterday and call it the soul of the nation is just it's a disgrace to the good, hardworking Americans of this country that actually keep it together. The so-called fascists and the MAGA Republicans that I think it definitely shows too that he's very much stuck in the past and that calling out the Republicans and using this speech as the soul of the nation to call out an entire party, an entire viable group of people that keep this country going, just shows the lack of just progress and commitment that this administration has.
Mm-hmm. Jeff, I don't know if you had a chance to watch or hear anything about the speech from last night.
No, I hadn't seen it either, fortunately or unfortunately. I was kind of a little bit
That's
busy.
fortunate. You didn't miss anything. You did not miss it, and you're not a masochist. Also, for that, none of us are, because none of us really watched this speech. We got the highlight reel, and imagine if Donald Trump had given that speech, Liliana. What would be the reaction today from the folks at MSNBC and the Washington Post and NPR and CNN?
Yeah, I mean
they'd be calling Trump a dictator. Those two
Yeah,
Marines in the
absolutely.
background, that kind of, it's almost like, It's, like, I don't know if you've seen it, it kind of reminds of, back in the days. There was a movie called Nicholas and Alexandra, the movie about the last Tsar of Russia. And there's a scene where Tsar Nicholas goes out, and behind him are these two Cossacks. And that's what it kind of reminded me of, Tsar Joe Biden with his two Cossack guards behind him. And that I don't know who did the lighting for that stuff. That red was just, a little. It really looked kind of like you were expecting to see the Emperor from Star Wars come out. Joe Biden should have worn a cloak and.
That has
But, I mean,
definitely
I
been
thought the
memed
optics
today.
was.
Yes.
Oh, have they been making those memes today of the
Oh my
Emperor
gosh, there's
Czar?
so many memes. There are so many memes. It's
Are they
quite
doing the
comical. It's
Czar
better
and the
than the speech
Cossacks?
itself. Yeah, no, they did a lot with the cloak and the emperor. They did the speech that Dwight gave from The Office when he was slamming his fists on the table, or at the podium. That was
Yes.
also parodied. That yes, the memes are better than the speech itself.
Yeah, and I think the other stuff about Joe Biden, is, and let's just stay on Joe. Joe. By the way, Jeff, myself, went to school and did PAYGO. We pay. Oh, for me, my parents paid for everything, but Jeff did PAYGO when he was in school, and he's doing PAYGO now. I mean, do you guys? I mean, do you think, should we all be feeling a little bit foolish that we didn't take out student loans and go into massive debt and had taxpayers and people who never went to college bail out these people that have gotten basically stuck with these? Well, no, I shouldn't say stuck. They stuck themselves with these student loans and decided to go to fancy universities with these worthless majors, and as a result, they claim they don't have the money to pay for these. But yet, a lot of these kids drive EVs. If they can afford an EV, they can afford to pay their student loans back. What do you think, Liliana? I mean, you're a newly
Yeah,
minted student.
absolutely. Yeah, so I just started my first year. I am fortunate enough that I did not have to take out student loans. So I'm currently debt free my first year. And I drive my little 1996 Jeep Cherokee.
Hmm.
His name's Reagan. I don't drive one of those nice fancy Audis or anything like that. And that I did it the right way. I worked, I saved up money, and then I can pay for my school, and I don't have to ask my mom to pay for it. Nothing like that.
What a novel
And
concept!
I know
What a
it's
novel
crazy,
concept.
crazy to think that you work for what you get. And I think this is going to
I
stem to
know. It's like
this is going to be an
saving.
interesting, yeah, it's going to be an interesting few months because the actual plan isn't supposed to roll out until December. But even that, with then, I know Ted Cruz has
Mhm.
said that he's going to be suing. He's going to bring it to the courts, and I think it is very valid. I think it's entirely unconstitutional for the president to make the decision that these institutions, which are private, the federal loan should not be canceled, just for so many reasons. That the president of the United States should not have the power to do that. And if it did pass through Congress, maybe, but even then, no, I don't support it. I don't think it's right. But I think the president of the United States himself should not be able to do this as an executive order, and I think it will be found unconstitutional.
Yeah, Jeff, thoughts on
Yeah,
student
so
loan forgiveness?
I would say,
Um,
I would say, again, I know I tend to be more the kind of the moderate conservative. So let me just say that, I mean, I don't necessarily agree with all the aspects of it. I don't think it's as draconian as everyone's putting it out to be. There are limits to how much is forgiven, and these are specifically for low-income families. And so I think that there are still a lot of barriers to education for a lot of families, and people that um, are like low to middle class that are struggling. And these again, there are special criteria for people that get loan forgiveness. It's not across the board. Um, it's I understand, and I kind of appreciate the fact that that there are ways to, like, help out people that have been paying off student loans for X number of years and they have like, just a little bit left in their student loan, it's almost like a tax rebate. So I understand that, this is hitting a lot of people the wrong way, but we're not talking about extreme dollar amounts here. We're talking about, up to $20,000, and that if you've been paying off your student loan for, over 10 years, that you can be forgiven up to $12,000 for your student loan. So this is like, if anyone who goes to school, especially the private institutions, this is not even a, barely a semester worth of college, not a full year worth of college. So we're not talking about, all of your college education being forgiven. We're talking about a portion of it. We already have programs where people like, the TEACH program, where people are, reimbursed education expenses for if they're going to be a teacher. And if you have other, if you're a veteran or other, meet certain other criteria, you get those benefits. So, I mean, this is not like necessarily uncalled for. I understand that a lot of people don't like it, but I don't think it's as bad as people are making out to be.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. I think,
But I
too,
think,
the
what
fact-
happens is,
No, just that with college, with the fact that that people need some sort of just relief in this way, I think that's more to it, and that we should start going after some of these institutions, and especially like the public ones, to make a little bit more of a better regulation to prices and fees and whatnot. University of Maryland just went up $700, and then we were told, oh, laundry's free. Well, no, it's not. I'm paying $700 for laundry now. And that if we kind of just get rid of these like crazy things within the universities and allow them to be something that you can pay for outside of the tuition, that we won't have to worry about having to bail out 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds that have been going through, that have collected debt through college, that there are other ways to go about this. I think than just canceling the $10,000 or up to $20,000 of debt for those that currently have debt.
mm-hmm. And do they also make you buy a meal plan too?
Yes. So if I live on campus, I have to buy a meal plan. So I have to eat $2,200 worth of food in 4 months.
But do you all know you also need to be that amount by a certain point? Otherwise, they'll drop it down to there.
What do you mean?
Like, let's say you need to be debt. It's $2,300 a semester, right? Let's say if you're not at $2,000 by the end of middle of October, they'll drop.
Well, no, we just have meal swipes. Yeah, we just have meal swipes. It's not like the swipe. Or no, it's not the swipes. You can just go in whenever you want. You can get like the additional dining dollars, but yeah, no, I get to go in whenever, which is.
But are the local
nice.
businesses now accepting Maryland meal points?
There are a few. Yeah, there are a few. There's a few. Because we have like a Taco Bell, we have Chick-fil-A, a few other kind of your bigger.
No, but I mean, if you go down to Route 1, is what I'm saying.
No, they do not. They don't take. No, they don't take dining dollars.
Over at GW, the local places like Froggy Bottom Pub, Milo's, TGI Fridays, I think Bertucci's, they all took GW meal points, so you can go there and use the meal points and so on, which I think is great. I think that's a wonderful thing, And by the way, you guys have much better dining options than we did when we were at Maryland.
We do now, yes.
McDonald's, which was
yeah, we have a brand new dining hall.
We had a McDonald's, and then we had dining center.
Very nice.
We used to have Marriott Food Services. Yeah.
Huh.
None of this, because one of my friends, evidently University of Georgia had Chick-fil-A there. They were like the first campus they ever went to. And my friend was all about bringing Chick-fil-A to University of Maryland. Now it's finally here, almost 20 plus years later. Chick-fil-A, and is the creamery still there? Yeah, you got to try that ice cream at the creamery.
Yes, we have the Maryland Dairy. I had the cookies.
It is the best ice cream you will ever have.
Yes, I had cookies and cream when I got here.
Can you still buy? Yeah. Can you still buy it by the brick like they used to when they were down on Route 1?
Yes.
Okay, good. I might have to stop there. They got crazy hours. I might not be able to, but I was thinking the red, white, and blue did on the way back. Stop off and get a brick of ice cream.
Absolutely.
But And the other stuff that's been going on, with this week, we have had, what do you call it, Joe Biden. There's the Democrats are kind of being eagerly gleeful, thinking the red wave is now collapsing upon itself. But I still think people still understand that we're still paying $4 plus for gasoline in Montgomery County. I know in Prince George's County, the Wawa's is the cheapest place you can buy gas other than Costco's on Route 1. But in Montgomery County and lots of parts of this country, you're still paying over $4 gas. And I'm sorry, that's not cheap. $3 gas is not cheap. I filled up at a gas station for $3.69 before I came to Florida. Paid $84 and change for a full tank of gas on my Yukon, which is insane. I mean, that is way, way too much, for gas. Inflation is still high. Just because it didn't go down in July doesn't mean it's gone down from the 9.1 in June. Unemployment ticked up today. These aren't good numbers, frankly. And a lot of these unemployment numbers, the new jobs are people just going back to work, frankly, after the free money from Uncle Joe is drying out. So thoughts, guys, the economy, red wave still happening, or do you think it's going to be status quo come November? Are we going to see a lot of, we're not going to take the House back? I think I'm pretty confident we'll take the House back. And until about 3 months ago, I was fairly confident we take this U.S. Senate too. But I'm losing a little hope on the U.S. Senate side there, because I think Pennsylvania is going to. Yeah. Go ahead.
I think that's as far as the red wave goes. I mean, I think a lot of it is not so much the Democratic pushback. I think it's more the fact the general disappointment in the Biden administration. So I know a lot of people that are kind of like moderates, either moderate Democrats or moderate Republicans, who voted for Biden, hoping for kind of a moderate policy. But instead what we've gotten is kind of almost like a null policy, which really not benefited anyone. And, again, I said this many times before, that, I was hoping that Biden would bring actual benefits to small businesses, especially in the pandemic environment, where it would actually benefit small businesses to do business and to equip them and help them survive in this, the kind of the new normal that we're experiencing. But instead, we're not seeing any of that. And,
No, he just hired 87,000 more IRS agents to audit small business owners.
Yeah, so basically, we're seeing more of a squeeze on individuals and small businesses. Everyone's feeling the inflationary for it. It's like there's nothing that's really been beneficial yet. Nothing, and I understand that the president only has so much power either to make or break the economy, but a lot of
But his party, Jeff, his party has the Senate and the House. They can do whatever they want right now.
Well, that's the thing.
There's not one thing a Republican can do.
But again, this is kind of like shades of like Obama, when Obama had said, as example, in his first 100 days, one of his campaign pledges was to put into the Constitution, or at least have Congress declare women's rights in a way that would be ensconced somehow. It never happened. Basically, Obama said, he punted on it and said, this is no longer an important policy for us. Whether it was or not, it's hard to say. But a lot of Democrats who voted on him for that reason really found, kind of that he turned on him. And the same thing with Biden. Biden made a lot of promises where he didn't really follow through. And I think a lot of people have been disillusioned with those promises. And so I think it's a lot of people are just the fact that, Biden, had a good, for what it's worth, he talked a good game prior to the election.
Remember, Joe Biden came to town riding on his unity horse, saying that he's going to unify the country. And what has he done? He's done more. He's probably done more to divide this country than any president in recent memory. Ordering the raid on Mar-a-Lago, I think, I personally think, when he flashed the white power sign, did you guys catch that, Liliana? He passed. he basically flashed the white power sign back when he said he had zero knowledge. Here's a picture, by the way. It will load in a second. Oh well. Anyways, I'm not going to even try. But everyone knows what it is. He flashed because I remember when Donald Trump did this, they called it white power. So when Joe Biden did it, I guess he's supporting white power too, huh?
Does that no
You
longer?
know,
Maybe I'm out of.
and he, yeah, no, that's exactly what it is. But no, the liberals and everyone, Donald Trump did that. They said he flashed white power signs because they say this makes a W. There you go. There you go. There's Joe. That's his white power salute. You know, and he basically did that. And it's it's deplorable. Honestly, it is horrible, horrible, horrible that this man is running the country. I did not. I'm here in Florida, and I'm talking to dry cleaners and local business folks and whatnot. We just like I had to go to take a jacket to a dry cleaners, right? And I was talking to her, and she goes, it's just, she goes, they're amazed how bad the country has gotten in less than 2 years. Less than 2 years. Look how bad things are. I mean, Liliana, you're young. You remember the days when President Trump was, and you were paying less than $2 for gas to gas up your Jeep, and was able to go around, and when you'd go to Giant or Safeway or Mars. Is that what you guys have in Harford County? Mars, is that the big supermarket?
ShopRite.
You go there and the shelves would be abundant. Yeah, ShopRite. Okay, and you'd find the shelves would be abundant, and you wouldn't have to look for stuff. You could find your favorite cookies and chips and whatnot, and not have to pay an arm and a leg for bacon and so on. And look at it now. In 2 years? I mean, I've gone to. I'm still having a hard time to find stuff at the supermarkets. They all have signs up. I don't know if they have them in your county, but the Giant and the Safeway have signs up saying that because of our distributors have raised their prices because of high gas prices, you're going to pay more for eggs, milk, bread, butter, in addition to everything else in the store. I mean, can you believe a pack of cookies is $5.99? A pack of Chips Ahoy cookies is $5.99.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
When people go to vote.
Yeah, and I think too that there's a big difference between just looking at like the Trump years and the Biden years, and even just looking at when a Republican is in office, and that there's this overall sense of patriotism and care for the country that I haven't felt that ever since Trump left. I was only 4 years old when Bush was president, so I didn't quite remember those times, but I remember even through the Obama years, there was never really a sense of pride for the country. And then Trump kind of changed that, and I haven't had it back since. So I think that, and just the unsuccessfulness of the administration has just caused everyone to just not feel as prideful of the country. And I think this is what's going to tell the difference, in that the red wave isn't completely over yet. There's still time to go knock doors. There's time to make phone calls, send texts for candidates in your area, that we can still most definitely win this. I mean, obviously certain seats are always unwinnable. That's just how elections are. But we still have a possibility of keeping some of our swing districts and flipping others as well.
Yeah, I mean, and
I think we lost Dwight.
Stand by, as Dwight is not here. Yeah. Well, we'll give a quick dorm tour. So at the University of Maryland, the Johnson Whittle Hall, brand new in the Heritage community right next to the stadium. My two favorite posters I have from the 1964 convention when Barry Goldwater was named the presidential nominee. Just love all the balloons. A photo of the Capitol I took. Everything's red, white, and blue. Because when I put on my roommate request that I wanted someone who was conservative or moderate within the hobbies, they gave me no roommate. They put me in my own room, which is actually really nice. But yeah, they found no one. They found no conservatives at the Honors College.
So
So
you're in the
it's just
college
me. So I get to really make it personable and super Republican.
That's cool. You're in the College Park campus?
Yes.
Cool. Yeah, my nieces went to UMBC, so they just graduated with psychology degrees, and I am currently enrolled in UMGC, getting my cybersecurity degree. So I'm doing all
Nice.
online classes, but that's also nice.
Nice.
So I don't know if you're probably a little bit too young to remember this, but I was going to say when Dwight was talking about college costs and those things, is that it's interesting that college was never like before we had student loans. I mean, there was a time before you had the Pell Grants and all the different guaranteed student governmental guaranteed loans, where people had to basically pay for college themselves. And college was a lot more affordable back then. But it seems like once there were guaranteed federal student loans that absolutely had to be paid, colleges basically had a guaranteed source of income because they could charge what they wanted to, get a guaranteed loan from the government that was guaranteed to be repaid. You couldn't default on it, and they suddenly just raised all the prices. And I'm not saying that education hasn't gotten better since then, but it's just interesting that it's kind of like the housing market. It kind of explodes to meet the demand. A lot of colleges became unaffordable, and private colleges, especially the Ivy Leagues, have always been expensive. But when you talk about like state-run colleges like University of Maryland, and even like colleges that are community colleges like Howard County and other counties like that, it just the price for those is still relatively inexpensive considering some of the higher price colleges, but all in all the price has just gone way up.
Yeah, absolutely. And even with that, I know the University of Maryland has kind of gone down this path the past few years, and that because out-of-state tuition is so much more than in-state tuition, you're more likely to get in as an out-of-state student than those in the state, which I think is definitely interesting. And that the in-state tuition is like 10 grand, and the out-of-state tuition is like 50 grand. So that cycle of making it so drastic has definitely caused more of that constant income that's just going to overall hurt the students within the state for not being able to get into the institution.
Yeah, I moved back to Maryland right before the pandemic, and shortly after, within a year, I started attending University of Maryland, and I tried to enroll as a resident, but because of the COVID, I kind of waited to get my license, my Maryland license, and because of that, I was ineligible. So I just recently reapplied for Maryland residency, for the college, because it is a lot cheaper. But it's such a big process. I mean, I've got to show all this, paperwork that my employment records and everything else, my tax records, and things that you'd think that when you're normally applying for college in state, you don't have to show all that stuff. But now it's like I've got to prove, beyond any shadow of a doubt that I've been here, paying my Maryland taxes, for several years, so I can show that I'm actually a resident. It's just crazy. But the other thing that's crazy too is that in the Midwest, like in Michigan, having a college degree is really not that big a deal. I mean, you can have one or not, but in this area, it seems like you almost need to have a college degree of any kind to get a job. It doesn't matter what it's in. I've been looking at job applications, and a lot of them just want. It's not like or experience. They want a bachelor's degree, especially in a lot of governmental organizations. And it's just so I understand that you almost like need to have one, and everyone makes fun about having a degree in basket weaving, but that's would suffice as a degree if you need to get a job. And it's silly because it doesn't indicate a specific skill set. It just means that you've paid money to get a college education.
Absolutely. And I think that's one of the major things I do appreciate from Governor Hogan is that just waiving that requirement of having to have a college degree to work for the state. I think that definitely opens doors for a lot of people within the state that are kind of just going to make that decision of not going to college, but going directly into an agency. That typically you don't really need a college degree to even go into those agencies. That just a little bit of background. And just know a little bit about the agency, and it can even be as easy as having had a labor job. and knowing what it's like to be just your blue collar worker. So yeah, I think that and just overall, just the limit of who needs a degree, and just kind of getting rid of that as a requirement will definitely help just kind of steer away from this notion that you have to go to college to be successful.
Yeah, I wish there were more trade schools. And we talk about like, there's the, obviously electrical engineers and civil engineers and those kind of things that, sometimes you need to know specific, things, but it's like a lot of those things you can be trained for, and trade schools really do have in some cases very strict requirements for what it takes to have your tenure and have education there that's very specific to that industry. So I work in the cybersecurity industry. It's only been recently that colleges have even had cybersecurity degrees, but that's a very fluid industry too. I mean, cybersecurity, just like anything else, is changing. I mean, the threats we have today aren't the same threats we had yesterday. So having a trade school which teaches you cybersecurity in some cases might be better, because it would kind of force you to keep up on the latest trend, as opposed to saying, well, I got a degree 10 years ago for cybersecurity, so now I know as much as the next person who just graduated. And it may even be the same program. I mean, they don't necessarily update their material, at the same point if they do. One second, actually, Dwight's calling. Hey, Dwight. No, the stream's going live. Actually, you're just not on it. Yes. So Liana is on with me. We're just talking about college and stuff. But yeah, you're not on. I don't know if you can rejoin, but yeah, the stream is absolutely still going.
Yeah, I don't know if we can end it without the way ending it. We might be here for a while. Okay.
I can end it, but yeah. Okay. Yep, of course. Yep. All right, bye. So yeah, Dwight said he's going to try and rejoin, but technical difficulties, poor internet in Florida. So Florida is not necessarily a haven for everything. I mean,
the Democrats are interfering with the connection. Yeah.
So, but anyway, yeah. So I was gonna say, there's trade schools is one of those things where especially in other countries, you see a lot of trade schools where again, if you have aptitude and interest in doing a certain type of work, a trade school is often a good choice. But we don't really see that. I mean, back in the day, GM, when they were hiring people off the street, would have their own ways of teaching people. And even they had, like in Michigan, they had Kettering University right next to GM that would train people.
Hey guys.
And there's Dwight.
Hey, I'm back.
Yep.
This is better, I think.
Yep.
I think it may have been too much taxing because I don't have the gigabyte connection down here at the place in Florida, which I do need, which I should upgrade if I'm not going to be doing the show outdoors, like at the beach and so on and stuff like that. But anyways, where were you guys? I left off. I think I cut off in midstream about about Artemis.
And we were talking about various the fact that
what's that?
My nieces. I said Ileana was showing off her dorm, and I was saying how my nieces just graduated from UMBC and how
nice.
Attending UMGC, and just talking about how back before there were student loans, how the cost of college was so much cheaper, but as soon as they had a guaranteed loan program that you couldn't default on, the college prices suddenly just went skyrocketed and started to really increase in price. And we're talking how some places
Governor Perry. Yeah, and Governor Perry in Texas, he actually told the universities, the state university system of University of Texas, come up with a $10,000 bachelor's degree, and they did. And you know what they did? They stripped out all of the stuff, the superlative classes like women's studies and gender studies, all these other crazy.
I'm required to take. I'm required to take 2 diversity courses for the University of Maryland.
No.
I don't know which 2 I'm going to take, but
yeah,
I have the next 4 years to figure that one out.
I think one of the best classes they have at Maryland is politics through television and history. All you do is sit there and watch television shows from probably now they probably do the 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s. They did the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s back in my day.
Welcome Back, Kotter and Hogan's
Heroes. And also you watch movies. What's that?
I said it's probably like just watching reruns of Hogan's Heroes.
What's that, Jeff?
Connor. Did you hear me? I think it's still a bit of a delay.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah. Yeah,
So,
I'm
yeah,
having kind of a connection issue still. So, let me do this. We could either. Oh, we're back to normal. Okay, good.
Well,
I was going to say we could always
I mean,
end early.
we're seeing it just fine. So we're hearing you. I think you just have a delay of hearing us. So
Oh, good.
don't. Yeah, we're
Okay,
hearing
that's
you
fine.
just fine.
Perfect. Okay, good. As I was saying, is like those were some of the better classes there, and but a Kingdom Pizza, is that still there over by the bicycle shop?
I don't know. I haven't ventured down Route 1 too much. The Target is very disappointing.
Yeah, it's actually on the other side of Target. It's up the hill. It's Kingdom Pizza. It's across that shopping center that has the Cava. Back in the days, there used to be a Highs there and a Wawa's, and there was a sporting goods store there which went away. There used to be a Taco Bell where the Starbucks is. And have you gone down by Planet X?
I have not. I'm on North Campus, so
Yeah.
I don't venture down
that's
south.
cool.
I don't venture down past the mall too much.
Yeah. No, but Planet X is a place where all the hippie beatnik kids hang out. And they were all really upset when there was a chain coffee shop called Java Jams that opened up across, and they were all like mad that a chain coffee shop was going to open and put Planet X out of business. And now there's a Starbucks, which is just, it's got to make them feel a little nutty because, it's Starbucks, but it's a chain, but it's Starbucks. So it's amusing. Yeah, you're gonna enjoy Maryland. Maryland Day is awesome, by the way. Have you had your first look fair yet?
It's next week.
What day is it? I'll stop by. If it's after Wednesday, I'll stop by.
Yep, it's September 8th, Thursday, from 10 to 3.
I'll just be getting in at 3 o'clock then. Never mind.
But
I tell you, the state party should do like do a table there, or like, send somebody down during the time. Wait, you're a state party official. Are the CRs doing a table there?
I don't know yet. I've been trying to get in contact with the CRs, but we'll see. I'd love to get a little bit more involved within the campus politics because high school kind of stayed quiet until senior year, and then I had to miss school for certain events. So then they all kind of found out, and plus then I was on the ballot as a Republican, so people knew that then. But I'm not hiding it now. Everyone knows. Even just stepping into my dorm,
you
see the 1964 convention. So yeah, I'm not hiding it.
I've got a Spiro I got a Spiro Agnew for governor poster if you'd like.
Ooh, that'd be nice. That'd be nice.
Well,
I have a clock that I found at the Goodwill, and it ticks backwards. It goes counterclockwise, and it has a cartoon of Bill Clinton. And one of the girls that walked into my room was like, "Oh my gosh, it's going backwards, kind of like the Clinton years." I'm like, I'll keep you as my friend.
That was actually a magazine. That was actually, I want to say you got that back when National Review was a really uber conservative magazine. I think it was either National Review or the Weekly Standard that gave that away when you signed up, or maybe even a Rush Limbaugh giveaway. But anyways, it was better than the Sports Illustrated phone. But yeah, let me know if you want some political memorabilia. I've got a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah,
I might even have a Dwight 94 yard sign for you somewhere. But anyways, getting back to, Artemis, our space program, which was reinvigorated thanks a lot to Vice President Pence. He still is a big supporter of NASA. And if you recall, Liliana, a long, long time ago, we used to have a shuttle program. We had these space shuttles that go up, and then Obama canceled the shuttle program, and then turned NASA into a Muslim outreach operation, as he put it. And then we had the Trump era, and we returned back to space. We had to stop. We didn't have to use Russian Ubers to go to the International Space Station. And now, thanks to the guidance of the wisdom of Vice President Pence, we are about to launch Artemis 1, an unmanned mission. It's going to go all the way to the moon and come back, and then then we send humans, and it's to the moon and then beyond, because we start building moon base Alpha.
Wasn't that Alice when he said to the moon and back?
What's that?
But Alice.
No, that was the honeymooners, yes. But no, we're setting Artemis, and I will be down at Satellite Beach tomorrow to watch the launch and do some recordings and so on. And we've got it's gonna be a lot of fun. It's a very festive town, and by the way, my county here, Liliana, Brevard County, is the second reddest county in the entire state of Florida.
Wow.
The county with Naples.
I'd say that about the county I'm sitting in right now.
Or the county I live in, right? Let me tell you, they have everybody is a Republican that's elected in Brevard County, except 2 members of the Board of Education, and they're going to be fixing that right now.
Wow.
Is that the Artemis link you put in there?
No, that's to the moon, Alice.
Oh, okay. And so, I think it's. What are your thoughts, Liliana? This is the first major space launch that's going to happen in your lifetime, right? Or do you remember the shuttle programs at all? Wait, you're younger than Ryan. You don't even remember the shuttles. Never mind. The shuttle program was.
No, I think it is very, very interesting. I think that we haven't had as much of a focus on space over the last just decade, and I think it'll definitely be interesting to see how things go, and hopefully just a farther push into space exploration and just more opportunity of finding things as human discovery that we haven't quite had too many major innovations besides the iPhone and things like that, but this will be a really good time for generations to see something monumental.
And also, there's a whole bunch of stuff. A lot of people don't seem to understand. A lot of stuff we get that are byproducts of space research and engineering. One of them is, have you ever heard of a company called Corning, right? Corning, they make the cookwares and...
Yes,
that's all. That came a result of space technology. Tang
drills
was developed.
What's that? Drills always had a power cord until they had to have one go up to space, and they figured out how to put the battery on.
Exactly. And a lot of people say, oh, you got a lot of people, people even in our party, they'll say, oh, why are we wasting money going to the moon and so on? There's nothing, but that's money well spent, frankly. Money for space exploration, because we are humans. We're explorers by nature. We are gonna leave, the bounds of Earth. We are gonna, go out and seek out new life and new civilizations and go where no man's ever gone before, as Gene Roddenberry would say. That's what we are. We explore. We're explorers. And can't wait to see the crisp. What's that?
I was going to say, to your point, you're talking about so besides the direct benefits of exploration in the space industry, you've got all this subsidiary industry. So not just the people who build the space shuttle, but you're talking about advances in material sciences, advances in computers, advances in mathematics and physics. All the people that that want to be scientists in this program. If you want to be a scientist nowadays, what are your choices? Well, you can be a scientist that works at NIH, or you can be someone who works in a pharmaceutical company or something. But there's really not a whole lot of scientists that really work in the space science field. NASA, you can work for NASA, but again, without those programs, a lot of interest that people would have just
Mhm.
doesn't go anywhere. And again, it's not like we visited NASA just recently, and it's not just space. I mean, they do a lot of
Yeah.
aeronautical surveys. They do a lot of earth science surveys too, not just what we think about is like
Mhm.
the fancy stuff with exoplanets and things like that, but all these programs build our knowledge, not just in terms of a scientific community, but also in terms of practical
Mhm.
engineering standpoints. I mean, when you build something, when you build a probe that looks at new planets or those kind of things, there's a whole lot that goes into it besides just sending it up into space. I mean, there's
Yeah.
the
I
bits
mean,
about how you
yeah.
detect it, the sciences for building it.
Yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
but,
And
but
Landsat 1 went up this year. I'm sorry, not Landsat 1. Landsat 1 turned 50. That was one of the very first weather satellites. And we're up to Landsat 9 right now. Landsat 10 is coming, and all that stuff helps us predict hurricanes, weather, and so on as a result. I think, we definitely need to do space exploration. I think it's well worth, I don't think it's a junk science, as some of the people would say, and that's my thoughts on the great Artemis project. And NASA, I think, is one of the government agencies that needs to probably have their funding increased, frankly. Uh, I mean, we'll never get to Mars if we don't go back to the moon. And if we don't get to Mars, getting to Mars is the jumping off point for us to actually become real explorers. Can you imagine the next generation, Christopher Columbus, who basically takes a starship across the stars and discovers a new Earth-like planet, But you know what the left would say? Oh, he's probably just going to give the local aliens their blankets with smallpox or something like that, and and kill off the indigenous people of the other planet.
I'm surprised the Democrats aren't trying to find more people to tax, but going to another planet might be bad. might get more money. But
well, there's a lot of science fiction based upon like Mars being kind of like a free colony. I mean, obviously, once you leave Earth, governing any exosolar or any other planet is going to be a challenge. But to your point, I mean, like, so and I know Dwight is loves science fiction as I do, and we all love Star Trek and all the Gene Roddenberry vision, which was not just the scientific exploration, but the the unification of mankind through these kinds of explorations, where you have something bigger than yourself. You can kind of unify against that. I mean, we don't really have a whole lot of things that unifies right now, but back in the in '69 and stuff, in with JFK, I mean, we had all these space programs which really unified the country. We all got behind it, and we all said, "Hey, these are great things," not just because like in his words, we do these things not because they're easy, but because they're hard. We do them because they're challenges. We don't want it to become something which is so routine that we don't really care. And towards the later years of the space shuttle, people just thought it was kind of routine. They forgot the dangers and inherent in the space program. But the thing is, we want people to be challenged. We want people to be encouraged to explore. So here's Dwight again.
Yeah, so I guess you missed my talk. I don't know if you guys heard how much of my talk about how the next generation, Christopher Columbus, going out on a starship and discovering a new Earth-like planet that we could colonize and
And then
inhabit.
tax.
And I also made my joke how liberals probably think, yeah, another planet to basically subjugate the leaders. So can you guys hear me?
yes,
Hmm.
still delayed.
Okay, good. So, yeah. Well, we're close to the end, so why don't we just do our final thoughts? This is where we could have multiple thoughts, and we'll start with you, Liliana. Final thoughts.
All right. I've been kind of sad about it ever since the election, but I'm very sad to see that we lost Alaska. I was rooting for Sarah Palin pretty hard. I've always been a Sarah Palin fan. As I said before the show started, my first cognitive memory is the 2008 RNC convention when she was delivering her acceptance speech for the vice presidential nominee. So it was sad to see, but I mean, with ranked choice voting and how just Alaska, how the primary worked, I think it was absolutely the worst nightmare that the other Democrat stepped out, and there were only 3 candidates: the Democrat, the 2 Republicans. Because exactly what I thought would happen is that the Republican vote split. Now going into the regular general, I really hope that Sarah does run a better campaign, a little bit harder grassroots, so that hopefully we can keep the seat that we had. I mean, I think it's so sad that after 50 years we lost the seat. But
Yeah, yeah. And
we'll see.
we've had that seat since Vice President Agnew and President Nixon were living in the White House. You know, see, I worked in Spiro Agnew again this week. Any other thoughts?
I'm excited for college. I'm excited for the semester, and we'll see how bad
You
I
excited
get.
about the red, white, and blue dinner?
Yes, the red,
Thanks.
white, and blue dinner is going to be fantastic, and I don't have to drive anywhere this
Yeah,
year.
and are there still tickets available for people to go
Yes,
buy at
tickets are
mdgop.org?
Yes,
Can people
tickets
still
are
buy
still available. Go to mdgop.org. You can go on the Facebook
And you know
page as
something?
well.
Despite Biden inflation, the price of tickets are not. Honestly, Liliana, I thought this year's Lincoln Day dinner, this red, white, and blue dinner tickets were going to be anywhere between $350 to $400 a ticket, but
Well,
they're
you're in
not.
luck because yes,
They're
they are
insanely
not.
low, aren't they?
Yeah,
They're
definitely
so
come
insanely
out.
low. I mean, we've got a great location. And Governor Noem's a great speaker. Everybody should come out and see her. And you never know who else you can see there. You can meet the doctors in person.
I'll be there. Yes. Yes, come out, see the University of Maryland. It's right across. It's not too far from the McKeldin Mall. So if you get there early, definitely go check out the campus. Come back over, enjoy a little reception, see the governor speak, and then get some dinner, and then that's a pretty good Thursday night.
After party at the VU. After party at the VU. Is the VU still there? Probably not.
I don't think so.
Final thoughts, Jeff Thornton.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess.
But
we kinda
Bentley's
talked
is
about-
still there. RJ.
Yeah, I know we talked a lot about different things. I guess, for me, people who know me know that I'm passionate about science, math, and Craig, you can just put something here. So, yeah, September 3rd, tomorrow is National Cinema Day. Movie theater tickets, $3. So awesome. That sounds like a great thing to do.
Really? That's great to know.
So, yeah, anyway.
I think, Jeff, you and I have a friend who's probably going to be camping out. Yeah,
Yes.
you and I have a friend who'll probably be camping out at the ArcLight.
Yeah. So
Go
I was gonna say, Dwight and I both went to Montgomery Blair High School. Dwight just had a television interview with WDC, WDC 50, I should say, and was a great interview. I was glad to be there and observe that.
Yeah.
And one of the things he said was, that again, Montgomery County used to be kind of the pride of the country. We used to have, one of the best educational systems. I still remember Montgomery Blair's their supercomputing project where they came in. I think it was the second or third place across the country for a supercomputing.
No, we
didn't win it. We came in and we got the deck.
and we won the following year.
Okay, we won the following. Okay, but that year I remember because we got the
Yeah.
deck computer with all the cool graphics and stuff back in the day. That was like I was like in
Yeah.
awe. But anyway, so I mean, we had a great program there,
Mhm.
and I was so proud of that school because it really brought the cream of Montgomery County, the students there, into a program where they could really exceed and excel. And that's not to say that everyone who goes to that kind of program succeeds in life. I mean, we have friends that have graduated there that that still have struggled and stuff. But those kind of programs challenge people, and they really encourage people to achieve the best they can. And for me, that's why you have schools like that. That's why you have programs like NASA space program, because you want to encourage and motivate people to do the best they can do. You don't want people to just say here's the bare minimum you need to succeed in life. You want to say here are ways you can you can be president, you can be a scientist, you can be whatever. Give people dreams and say here's how you reach those dreams. Give them the path to it, and I think students will rise to that.
Dream
So
big.
I'm a huge supporter of STEM. I'm a lifelong learner myself. I mean, I never stop learning. I love math, science, computer science. Get me on a podium, I'll talk about next gen energy for the next couple hours. I mean, there's so many things this country can be doing in in sciences that we're not doing, and it's really kind of depressing because U.S. used to be, the leader, the thought leader in all these programs, and we designed, the computer system basically, and now, short of, and again, I applaud Intel for building a new chip fab, but historically we have kind of punted on that and said, okay, we're gonna let other countries, Japan, Korea, China, we're gonna let them develop, manufacture all the technology for us. We'll just kind of give them, the blueprints, and we'll say, just have fun with it, but don't steal it. Just here, make it for us. And it's kind of bitten us. Not only has like China taken our blueprints and kind of made their own stuff, but we've lost our own manufacturing capabilities in the U.S. And so now we have these chip shortages. We have all these other things, and it's the same with energy. We've become energy dependent upon other countries. We should have never gotten ourselves in this situation, and we don't have to be in this situation. It's just that we don't have strong leadership that really pushes for energy independence. And whether you're a Democrat or Republican, it shouldn't really matter. We need to be energy independent. That's just something we need to do. It's a national goal, not a political goal. So that's one of the things I feel strongly about, because I feel like, this is absolutely essential for our, continuation as a country. We can't be reliant upon other countries for our power and for energy. So anyway, that's kind of my short-ish, long spiel of closing thoughts. Anyway, since we're talking about college and education, those kind of things, I just think that, again, encouraging people to study these things and giving them the chance to become, even like, when's the last time you had like a nuclear engineer, graduate college? We don't even really offer those programs anymore, because there's really not those fields that have a need for those students. But that's stuff we should be encouraging students to take. Anyway, that's my
Who was a nuclear engineer and he became president? That was Jimmy Carter.
Mhm.
But who else was an engineer and rose through the ranks? You had George Shultz. He was an engineer, former Secretary of State. Bob McNamara was an engineer. was an engineer. He was actually responsible over at Ford Motor Company. He was one of the brilliant designers, developers, scientists for Ford Motor Company that was part of the innovations of Ford back in the 60s, 50s, and 60s, But my final thoughts are, you can watch me tomorrow at noon on Channel 50, the Channel 50 or Channel 31 if you're in Hagerstown and points west in the future congressional district of Congressman soon to be Neil Parrott. And you can watch locally on FiOS, Channel 3 on FiOS, Channel 50 over broadcast, and I don't know what it is on Comcast. You can just look it up. And you can always catch it on the CW50.com website, or we'll have the website link on Dwight Fromoko website. Other final thoughts is everybody should be going to the red, white, and blue dinner. The prices are insanely low. It's only $200. It's a lot cheaper than think of it this way. Don't go to Starbucks for 2 weeks for coffee and don't pay for that ticket, $200. Think of it that way. Starbucks is expensive. Am I wrong, Liliana? I mean, you're a young person,
No, I do not drink coffee, and I will never
drink
ever.
coffee?
No, I have so much energy as it is. I don't have any caffeine. It's just the energy of the Republican Party. Yeah,
that's really good because caffeine withdrawal, you get really bad headaches. I mean, really, really bad headaches. So that's good. And so my other final thoughts is everyone go to dwightfromoko.com and also go to my Facebook page, smash the like button, like my page. We're doing great. We got some great fundraisers coming up in September. And also another program, September 28th, just save the date. We are going to do Pizza and Politics, but in Savanna Park over at Pasquale's. So hope everyone can join us. And Liliana, if you need a ride, we can probably arrange for you to get a ride to come along.
Nope, I have my car. I have my car on campus. So
Wow, lucky you.
Every time we say Pasquale's, I think of Chuck E. Cheese. I don't know why.
Pasquale's is no Chuck E. Cheese. It's Chuck E. Cheese's. What's funny is when I went to the 1996 convention for Bob Dole and Jack Kemp, we stayed at a hotel. And what was right by us? We had an Olive Gardens, and Olive Gardens used to be able to get pizza back then. Olive Gardens was there. We had a Chuck E. Cheese's. We had a Godfather's Pizza, and there was like another pizza. We had 4 pizza places. My friend Matthew, who came, we both worked at Accuracy Media back then. He came with me, and he goes, "You must be in heaven here. 4 pizza places." But yeah, it was a lot of fun, and everybody should go to a convention at some point. I think we'll all be in Milwaukee in 2 years, hopefully renominating President Trump or Ron DeSantis or Marco Rubio, anybody but that demented old fool in the White House right now. But those are my final thoughts. I'll leave you with that demented old fool comment of the guy living in the White House. So. And by the way, so anyways, next week we'll have much better internet connection because I'll be back in Maryland.
Do you know what time your interview is on tomorrow, Dwight?
Noon
Okay.
tomorrow.
I'm going to find the schedule for
Yes.
WDC 50 for that.
Yeah, I went on their website. They said it's paid programming, but she said it's on at noon, and it's also on channel 31. No, which is, but yeah. So it's a good interview, and then we've got other stuff going on. So cool. That's it, everyone. See everyone next week. Good night.